Some of the key rating factors for this product are the garage form rating basis. So on garage policies, we're rating based on the number of people. And so it's very important to disclose all owners, employees, helpers, even people who do not drive, anyone who's furnished an auto for personal use. You're only going to do yourself and your insured a favor later on. There are site surveys that do apply to this coverage line. So if you're not including all the employees and owners up front, it's very likely that you may be hit with an additional premium midterm, which I know nobody loves. So as long as you can disclose the employees up front, regardless of whether or not they drive, that's going to help you. It's going to help Teresa. It's going to help with the proper pricing for the risk. For furnished drivers, that's persons who are regularly furnished into covered auto for personal use. So this is typically applies to your owners' spouses, and sales managers. So you'll want to know who is provided an auto for personal use. That is going to affect your rating units. There are also some companies who have a form that basically will tell you that there is no furnished coverage unless the people are listed on the endorsement. So when obtaining this information, it's very important to, again, their names, their role within the company, what kind of work they're performing, if they're full-time, part-time, and then their vehicle use. That is going to affect your pricing. It's going to affect your coverage. So it's very important to get that information up front. The last little bullet point here is your number of dealer plates. It is important. That is how we rate for our uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage. So you'll want to make sure you're obtaining the number of plates for that rating purpose. Things to be aware of when you're gathering the information. I would say that an Acord form is probably not going to tell us or Teresa enough underwriting information about the risk. So we're not going to be able to provide an informed underwriting decision. You might be, hit with additional questions. And so it is important, if at all possible, to obtain any garage application. And so you might not know who Teresa is going to market it to, but most garage carriers can use other companies' apps to kind of get a general feeling of whether or not that risk is going to meet their underwriting guidelines. So it's very important to have a garage application completed. It's going to make your quote have a quicker turnaround time. It's going to lead to less questions. You're going to have a more accurate quote. It is so important to get that garage application into Teresa. The next bullet point is if there's a target premium. I know sometimes that insureds don't like to give target premium information, but it's only going to help your insured in this case. So if you can tell Teresa they're looking for something around $2,500, if she has 5 garage markets, she's going to rate all of those carriers. And if she has some that are at $10K, $5K, she might not want to offer those quotes. If you can tell her, again, you need something around $2,500, here's your 2 quotes, this one might be a little bit more, but it offers more coverages, there's less exclusions. So it just helps her in knowing which markets to solicit and what kind of quotes might be offered. Also, motor vehicle reports. We do require motor vehicle reports on this class, this line of business. So it's important to know if any of the owners or employees have any accidents, violations, anything of that nature. And then, as I mentioned earlier, these risks are subject to site surveys. So it's important to disclose all of the information up front so you're not hit with an email asking a ton of questions and for clarification midterm. Some of the things that they're looking for on the surveys are slip, trip, and fall hazards. That includes your parking lots, sidewalks, and oil spills. So I would recommend telling your insured to get ready for these surveys. So they should be cleaning up their premise so that it's ready, nice and pristine for the inspector to come on site. Make sure their fire extinguishers are up to date, that their smoke detectors are working, that they have signs posted for no smoking, and that their flammables and soil rags are in UL approved metal containers or cabinets. Those are like typical things that are dinged on these site surveys / inspections. So just keeping those things in mind can help your insured have a more successful survey.
Nicole, we have one question that I just want to
Yeah.
address fast.
Yeah.
Do we have to submit Acord forms? The only time I want to see an Acord form for a garage risk is if you want property coverage, your building coverage. That's the only time I want to see an Acord form. Otherwise, I would love a garage application because Acord forms really don't do anything for me on the liability side.